Justice seekers will fight the fight. The heroes undo the harm. Calling out corruption, we'll stand tall. For justice and truth, we'll risk it all. My life mattered is the cry we sing. Together we rise, let freedom ring.
The reason why we believe that is because we do not feel that the Florida Stand Your Ground law would apply in this case, simply because there are 4 elements that you have to meet here in Florida for the Florida Stand Your Ground law, and we do not feel that they would meet all of them had they chose to charge Hatchet Man for starting this altercation with a weapon, which was only a verbal altercation prior to that, and those that held him down for acting without good cause to help Jason or to care about what they were doing to him at that moment. They overreacted, they held him down too hard, and he was asphyxiated, which somebody has to have some consequences for that. That is what Kara believes, and that's what all of us that are following Jason's case believe. So welcome back, everyone. This is Social Change Warriors Thursday nights, calling out corruption, 1 hour early tonight. Thank you for joining me as we go over some information on Jason's case. Where is Sara Ebersole, our missing mother here in Florida in Marion County? And not much to say. There's really not an update, but I just want to remind you all that we are still seeking justice for Ellen Greenberg and Suzanne Morphew and Suzanne Clark Simpson and Sandra Birchmore. All were unalived by their husbands, partners, or boyfriends, and none of them have justice to this date. So I want to give you a little update on those 4 beautiful young women whose lives have been altered, taken, their families' lives altered forever, due to a perpetrator who is still out there living his best life. So we're going to start out tonight with Jason, and we're going to continue working together, basically. So I am still working on going over all the witness audio. Kara has listened to it, and I didn't really want her to go through that again tonight. So she's working, and I thought this is a good time for me to work and have some of you in the chat with me who want to work with me and help me to figure out what are the best timestamps to use, because we are currently working on a documentary about what happened to Jason. So we have a creative team helping me, and we're hoping to finish this up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And we need sound bites from all of these interviews to put into our documentary. So that's what I've been working on. And I thought we would have a little live working session tonight, so you could all help me out. And maybe as we re-listen to, last week we re-listened to Hatchet Man, Jay Keeney, and we picked out the sound bites that we want to use. And what we're going to do tonight is listen to Michael Beery's audio interview and pick out what we're using. He's the one who admittedly helped hold Jason down and who left the scene. Before he also, I believe, left the scene before the police arrived. So we want to get down some notes on what we want to use as we build this documentary of Jason's case, in hopes that we can get someone to listen to us and consider prosecution. We're not asking for anything over the top, obviously. Kara's not asking for life in prison for any of these people, but she wants some accountability and some apologies for what happened to her husband, because he should have been alive. He should not have ended, his life should have not ended on that bar floor that night. And we want justice for his mother and father and his relatives and friends as well. So let us go right into it. If you have any questions, if you want to type them in the chat while you're with me tonight, that's great. If you join us on replay, since we're earlier than we normally are tonight, feel free to add your questions or comments in that replay section, and I'll get back to you. I'll put up my email towards the end of our time together tonight. Thank you, everyone. So let me pull up the audio that I want to go over tonight. The audio on one of, obviously, the key witnesses who helped hold Jason down. And in their opinion, they were holding him down so that he couldn't get up and continue to fight, because in their opinion, he was much bigger and larger and younger than Hatchet Man. And some of them didn't actually see Hatchet Man leave the bar, come back in with the hatchet. They were doing their own thing in the bar. My jury's out on that, because I find it hard to believe. I've been to the bar. I did a site visit, and it's very, very small. And I'll show you here. Let me put this back up here real quick. Let me make it bigger for y'all. So again, this is Jason. This is Kara, his lovely wife that you have all met while we've been live streaming. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. Yes, thank you, Ashley. Ashley says, I hope they reopen this case and prosecute, as well as reprimand the officer that didn't arrest him for DUI when she had the chance, and this all would have been prevented. Absolutely. And for those of you that are new to Jason Veach and this case here in Florida, in Volusia County, Florida, the Cabbage Patch Bar, Sorry Charlie's Bar here in Volusia County, we have live streamed about this multiple times since last October. So please feel free to go in our Social Change Words library and just look back, and you can watch all of our live streams and get yourself caught up to date. I usually do a little bit more of a review, but tonight I'm on a time crunch. One of my dear friends had a trip and fall on Sunday night after we watched the Michigan State basketball game. And she fell in such a manner that she has fractured her C1 and her C2. And she has been in the hospital since Sunday night. I took her to the ER. I've not had much sleep. I'm still very worried about her. She is now out of intensive care and on a regular floor, but they can't do surgery yet because there's some complications. So she's in one of those scary halos. It looks scarier than it probably actually is, but it's there to support the bones, the fracture, so that it can start to heal. But it's been Absolutely devastating, and I've never been so scared, I don't know, in my life. I don't was never even this scared for myself when I hurt my neck, and I'm grateful that none of my children or my family, other than my grandfather, has ever been in this kind of a situation with this kind of catastrophic injury. So it's been daunting, scary as hell. Her dear friend Carrie just flew in Tuesday, so her and I have been going back and forth to the hospital and spending time together. So that's why we didn't end up live streaming Sunday night, because that's when Jeannie took this fall. So I just want to let you all know, if you are a praying person, please pray for my friend Jeannie. And if you're not, then just send the best vibes you can send and the best karma, everything you can send her way here to the hospital here in Daytona Beach. Thank you, everyone. So if I'm not quite myself tonight, that's why I'm lacking sleep, and I'm very worried internally for my friend. So, but I did want to come on tonight because we had to take last week off for March Madness, and then inevitably we were supposed to live on Sunday night, and then that happened. So it was really tough, really tough. So, like I said, Ashley, thank you. Prayers for your friend. Thank you so much. So I appreciate you joining me tonight, Ashley, and everyone else. I know that Jason's family has been joining us regularly, and others that are following the victims that we're standing for on our channel, Social Change Warriors. And we thank you all so much. It's a village, everyone. It takes a village. What's going on in our communities now in America with crime and corruption at the police departments and in the government on both sides of the aisle, because corruption and crime is bipartisan. And I always want to remind you all of that. It is not one side is all right and one side is all wrong. That is not true at all. So I am covering cases that cover both sides of the aisle politically, because Social Change Warriors is bipartisan. We are here for victims and their families, and we are here to call out crime and corruption on Thursday nights and cases that just don't make sense, that just don't add up, right? So, and that includes Karen Reed and John O'Keefe, which we're primarily covering right now on Friday nights. But there's a lot of crime and corruption there as well. So let me bring up the audio that I want you all to listen to with me, and feel free to let me know in the chat box if you think something is more egregious than something else that I definitely want to write down the timestamps for, because we only have a limited amount of time in this documentary to show how poorly this case was handled and the mistakes made by the police, whether they want to admit it or accept it or not, and the mistakes made by those who were supposedly trying to help but went overboard, and Jason's life inevitably was taken. So I'm welcome to have you chat in the box with me. Tell me anything that you'd like. Make sure that I definitely cover. If you want it in the documentary, tell me, and I'll make sure I put the timestamps down for our creative department, because they are helping. They're taking my storyboard and they're doing on the computer what I don't have the skills to do. So I'm the storyteller. I do the storyboard. They do all the techie stuff. So we will be hopefully showing that to you, revealing that in, like I said, 2 to 3 weeks. And in the meantime, Creeps and Peaks, who are now new collaborators of ours, they have already been in the works making videos for victims of crimes. And I have been sharing them out on my social media, on Facebook and on Twitter X. They have made a video for Sara Ebersole. So I have shared that on Facebook and I have shared that on Twitter X. If you don't have it yet, let me know and I can email it to you, or I can keep resharing it. But they do an excellent job. They're very incognito, they're anonymous, and they want to help, and they want to make videos to help to push these stories out of these victims who don't have justice. So we're very excited that they were willing to do this video on Where is Sara Ebersole? But we're going to do our own documentary for Jason. So I wanted to try that again. I did a documentary for Levita 3 years ago. So I wanted to try my hand at it again myself for Jason. And we may also do one of our own for Sara as well. And for some of our other victims of domestic violence that we're standing for: Ellen Greenberg, Suzanne Clark Simpson, and Suzanne Morphew, and Sandra Birchmore. So we'll keep you posted on all that. All right. So Shauna, hi. I'm listening. Just got in. Oh, got some confusion here. Okay. I decided to start early, Shauna, because I've got to go back to the hospital to see my sweet dear Jeannie. So I decided to start my audio review tonight early, since this is mostly a working live. So I will touch base with you again soon, Shauna, and thanks for all your support. Appreciate you so much. Yes, thank you. It's a horrific week. Thinking of dear Jeannie. Thank you so much. Family and you, very upsetting news. Yes, I shared it with Shauna. She's become a friend of mine. Julie, craziest person on earth. They become friends of mine because we've been following the Karen Reed trial together. And then when I started live streaming, they became my first really true supporters. My very first true supporter was my best friend and dearest sister friend from Wisconsin, Kathy Coppins, who comes to all of our lives. So she was literally my very first supporter when I decided to start live streaming. And I had literally 50 subscribers who were all my friends and family. So we're in the 900s now. So grateful to all of you for following our channel and for caring about victims of homicides and crimes and for calling out. We have to call out the corruption. We can't just chit chat about it anymore. We can't just post about it. We have to do standouts. We have to come to live streams and we have to keep voicing our voices because that's the only way we root out the crime and corruption. That's the only way we can get justice for people. Thank you, Shauna. And thank you, Ashley, for being here early. I appreciate both of you. And to anyone who's here from Jason's family, thank you so much. And all of you on the replay, obviously later, please let me know your questions in the replay comment area. So let me pull up the audio interview. I will be right back with you here. Let me share my screen and let's pull up the audio interview of Michael Beerley, who was in the bar and having drinks with Jay, the hatchet man, even though in their testimonies they don't like to acknowledge that they knew each other. They most certainly knew each other. They're all regulars there. They know exactly who each other is. So I mean, I get it. They didn't want to get each other in trouble. But again, a person's life was taken. You got to tell the truth. You got to step up and be a man and just tell the truth as to what happened and let the chips fall where they may. If they're going to charge you with manslaughter, then you have to explain why that shouldn't be and tell us why you shouldn't be charged with manslaughter. It shouldn't be the other way around. Jason's dead. So he didn't die of his own accord. He didn't die because he did something to himself. So when somebody dies and they didn't do it to themselves and you didn't premeditate it and you didn't actually murder them, it's manslaughter. And so somebody has to figure out how that's going to get accounted for and who's going to pay for that particular crime that happened. So when you overdo something and someone dies, that's what they call manslaughter. So that's what this case is about. It's not about actual premeditated or that somebody purposely meant to hurt anyone. This case has never been about that. But there has to be some accountability and the police have to do their jobs from the start, not knowing what the ending might be. You don't start out an investigation like in the Karen Reed case, deciding who did it in the first hour of this actual person's life being taken. You do an investigation. You do a proper investigation. You do proper interviews. You look at all the evidence. That did not happen here. And that did not obviously happen in the death of John O'Keefe when they automatically assumed that it had to be Karen Reed. And then, of course, we know that that was the biggest and worst frame job ever that I've ever would have seen or witnessed so far. And I'm sure most of you can agree and attest to that as well. So we'll keep talking about that, obviously, on Friday nights. So let me start the audio. Feel free to share anything in the chat box, and I'll stop it occasionally to let you know what I'm planning to use as a timestamp, and you can let me know what you think about that. And if someone would let me know that you can.
The incident that was patched on Sunday the 8th. Yes, sir. It's a tragic thing all the way around. It really is. A lot of good people got caught up in something, and somebody passed. But like I said, we really don't know what happened. So all I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to. I mean, as far as him passing, I got interviews with a slew of people. As you know, I finally tracked down Jay and talked to Jay. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jay, good old dude.
Let me know you guys can hear this okay.
We drink the same kind of dude. Yeah.
The good old dude who he's referring to, Jay, is the one who went out to his car and got a hatchet and brought it back into the bar and swung it at the bar and swung it at Jason to try to scare him. We listened to that last week. The good old dude lied to the detective for the first 440 of the interview, and the good old detective didn't scold him for lying to him. He could have written him up for lying to him. He could have given him a misdemeanor for obstructing a police investigation, lying to a police officer. He did none of those things, and he didn't even scold him for lying for the first 4 minutes and approximately 40 seconds of the interview. So let's continue.
I see him at the corner. I see him at the patch.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
I
I know
know
he's
flying through the air. I just went straight 11 Bravo.
Yeah, okay, I get it. We'll start from the beginning. What time did you get to the Cabbage Patch on Sunday the 8th?
I couldn't tell you.
Were you there all day? Were you
Oh,
there?
no. I showed up. I was there. I got there the last 20 minutes that he was there.
Who's he?
Jared, Justin.
Oh, Jason. The guy
Jason,
died? Okay.
yes. I was there for the last 20 minutes that he was there the first time.
Okay.
And he got barred. He was being mean to a lot of people, and I just walked outside with the crowd. Went back in, had a beer, was watching. Jay and I was watching the Dolphins. And that's when he come back and slamming his hand on the bar.
That's the second time.
Yeah, the second time after he'd already been kicked out of Charlie.
So if you notice, Michael says Jay and I were sitting around watching the Dolphins. So he's not trying to hide the fact that he knows Jay, where Jay, on the other hand, in his 4 minutes and 40 seconds of lying, and even after that, made it out like he didn't really know who the guy was that was sitting next to him. And then he slipped up at one point and called him Mike, but then never actually admitted that they were friends. So that's a problem. And the detective should have absolutely, had he listened back to his audio interview like we're doing, picked up on that right away. That's a big red flag. Where at least here, Michael is not denying that he knows Jay.
So it wouldn't serve him there. I went to the corner, wouldn't serve him there, dropped his bike a couple times, I guess, is what I heard.
Right.
Went back to the corner, or went back to the patch. I'm sitting there.
How long do you think he was gone between the time he left the Cabbage Patch the first time to when he came back from Charlie's? Estimate. You don't have to
40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Let's say 40 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, it could have been 20, could have been 30.
It's all good.
I couldn't even tell you when it happened. Time-wise.
Right.
7, 8 o'clock, something like that. That's really strange for me to be out, especially on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I'd work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I just gotten off and went to have a couple beers.
I hear you. I ain't mad at you. So you're there. He comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So the second time he comes back, let's start from there. Or how?
Slammed his hand on the bar. Give me a beer. Don's like, no, I'm not serving you. Was rude and just looking to start a fight with anybody. But he was always going for the soft targets. The female bartender, obviously Jay, but then he started telling us he was going to whip everybody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted a beer. He was going to start with me.
Does anybody actually think, well, I don't believe for a second that any of those people thought that Jason was going to hurt Dawn, the bartender. I've seen this multiple times just as a patron in bars where people get drunk and obnoxious and they get cut off by the bartender and they get loud and rude. I was a bartender for 6 years before I was a police officer. When I went back to college in my 30s, I had lots of drunks yell at me when I told them they were cut off, or when I obviously just refused to serve them at all because they showed up at my bar absolutely intoxicated and drunk. I was called a bitch. I was yelled at. I was screamed at. But honest to God, I never felt like any of them were going to come across the bar and leap over the bar and physically assault me. Now, had I felt that way, I would have called the police, right? And at one point, Dawn does call the police because she feels that there's a fight about to break out. I don't think she ever felt like she was going to get punched by Jason. Jason never showed any weapons. This was all verbal intoxicated guy, testosterone, BS. And so when he uses the word soft target, I find that very interesting. So why does he have, right? Why does he have the knowledge of what a soft target is, right? So, and again, he wasn't going for soft targets per se. He was yelling at the bartender because she cut him off and he wanted another drink because he was drunk and he was mad and he wanted a drink. She wasn't ever in Jason's mind a soft target. So again, he's assuming things that probably were not true in Jason's mind.
Pops me in the arm, and I looked at him. I'm like,
Oh, he actually, he
yeah, he just bumped me, just
left side or right side?
well, it would have been my left hand
Where
side.
were you sitting at the bar?
3 stools down from him.
That's a lie. Okay. So let's just call it like we see it. This could be on Friday Night Lies. That's just a blatant lie. Jason was seated. Other witnesses have said exactly where Jason was seated. He was nowhere near Michael Beerley. And Jason didn't even get up from his bar stool until he saw that hatchet. So this is an outright blatant lie. Makes me want to swear, by the way, but I won't. Okay, Mom, I won't swear, but I want to because this really ticks me off.
He was all by himself,
Over by the bathroom.
by the cash register in the bathroom. Jesse was right in front of the bathrooms. Or, I mean, right in front of the cash register. 3 bar stools, and I'm sitting here.
JD.
Right. Jay's to my right on
Okay.
this side. We're watching TV up this way. And, I looked at Jay.
That's redacted. Shouldn't be because the case is closed.
Good. Well, next thing I know, he slams the bar again, and he's up. And as I'm getting up, I got fake hip and fake knees.
Uh-huh.
And fake ankle and only half a foot. So I'm not like really limber, jump around.
Yeah, I get it.
And when I went to get up, I rolled this way to get up off the bar stool. That's when I saw Jay flying in the air over the top of the pool.
That's a lie.
Hits the ground, slides back, bounces off the wall.
I'll tell you why that's a lie. There's no freaking way that Michael Beerley was sitting there next to Jay, to Jay's left, and didn't see him get up and leave and get a hatchet because 3 other witnesses said he left the bar, went outside, came back in with the hatchet, slammed it on the bar to the right of where Jason was seated. So Michael Beerley would be to the left. You're not going to make me believe in a snowball's chance in hell that he did not see him come in with that hatchet and slam it on the bar and Jason get up and he tried to hit Jason with it. There's 3 witnesses telling me that's what happened. And then Jason threw him and they landed on the ground. And then these other gentlemen stepped in to hold Jason down, including Michael Beerley. So stop lying. It's ridiculous. There's too many other witnesses. This makes me really mad to have to, I've listened to it before. I'm madder now tonight because that is all a blatant lie. Sorry, guys, but I'm mad. This is not Wednesday. This is not the Angry Bitch Club. This is supposed to be keep it straight, keep it clean, no swearing. This is just stats and facts, and let's solve the crime on Thursdays. We're calling out corruption. But since we didn't live last night, I'm going to mesh in a little bit of Angry Bitch Club because this pisses me off, and it should make you so mad. I know the detective knows this is not what happened. He's already interviewed 3 people. By the time he gets to Michael Beerley, I believe, I'll have to double check that, but this is disgusting. It's just disgusting.
He's underneath the pool table. He spins around like he's going to come towards me.
Jason.
Yes. He thought that I was going straight at him in the center. I went right on over to my left, would have been his right arm. The minute I'm throwing the bar arm on him, and I cranked it up, the 2 young men that were shooting pool buzz behind me. He does the same identical thing the one does in the hat. Bar arms him, and his buddy climbs up and was trying to throw a chokehold on him. And I looked at his buddy and I said, "Sit." And we both, that kid could have been 160 pounds. The other kid that had the bar on. I don't know. I've never seen those kids before. I've never seen them since. It was one of them.
So Michael knows all the terminology for fighting, just so you know. When you hear all this terminology that he uses, bar arm, chokehold, a lot of average people who've never been in a fight have no clue what those are, right?
Wearing cut off.
I think so. Okay. One had curly hair and one had a ball cap and straight hair.
Okay, so the one with the cutoff, was he on the side or the back?
I couldn't tell you cut off. I couldn't. I knew the curly haired kid.
Was he the one up on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't have a chokehold. He didn't have a lock on him. Not at all.
I want to focus on that. How was the hold? Was his arm underneath his chin?
Then you explain, according to the autopsy report, which we'll get to next week when we show the body cam footage, because we don't want Kara here for that either. You'll explain to me how he got the injuries he got then, what caused asphyxiation, since you're so smart, both of you.
Or did he just wrap around his upper chest?
His chin was here, and he was trying to lift at the same time, and he had his arm like this.
Jason's chin was on the right bicep of the guy.
No, really, it wasn't. It was straight down. It was straight down.
So he tucked his chin in like this?
Yeah, he went down like that, and I think all he was doing was choking on his chin.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't tell. I mean, I got this bar arm, and I'm sitting. I throw my legs out, and I rock my weight on them.
So go ahead, I'll let you finish.
And as soon as the cop came over and touched me on the shoulder, I guess those other two were already up. I mean, that's when I grabbed it and sat down. I don't remember anything after that until the police officer touched me on the shoulder and said, "Okay, let him go. I'm here." When I did that is when he went his last breath. I mean, I know that. I can feel it. Okay, the person's last breath.
That's fine. I know.
I've done it before.
I know.
And it seems like it follows me, so.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. So
I've done it before, and it seems like it follows me. We'll talk about that next week.
when you had the armbar, you sat straight down?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you never moved from there?
No, sir.
Okay, so that's, I mean, obviously, our deputies have BW, they have body camera. So, okay. Yeah. Actually, I didn't know. I didn't picture you. I pictured you somehow else. And when I was watching the body work camera, I seen a guy. And I'm like, what? That's not Mike. Who the hell is that? Well, that was you.
They call me Bubba Mike.
All right, so I heard. But, so anyway. Yeah, okay, so that's straightened out now. So you're on the right side of the guy. When you sat down, did he go face down?
No, he went down to his waist, and then he shot his legs out like he was going to come roar back up.
So when he shot his legs out.
Yeah, when he shot his legs out, he was on his belly, but he went to rock back on up one more time, and when he rocked back up is when I cinched down, same with the same.
That's not what one of the other witnesses said. One of the other witnesses said that he saw Jason go down hard and that he hit his head and that he was not resisting, that he was not trying to break free from the guys that were holding him down. So which is it? Now, if the bar owner had had audio cameras, surveillance cameras, which he has, by the way, but he only uses them at night after he puts the security locks on. That was one of the reasons the detective told me on the phone in my phone interview with him that he didn't have enough evidence to charge these people or to encourage the DA to charge these people, or nor did he put that in his report, because the police can influence the DA. If they write a thorough report with solid, rock solid evidence, or at least allude to the fact that they do believe that these people should be charged, that lend some weight to the DA. But they did not do that in this case because they never wanted anybody in this case to have any charges. It's very clear from the get-go.
And kid. And that's when we rolled on out, and he was flat down on his belly.
Yeah.
And that was,
Did he hit the floor hard? Do you recall?
no, he was picking me and the other kid up.
That's utter crap. And that's why Wheeler asked this, because he already interviewed the person that said that Jason hit the floor hard and it appeared that he hit his head and that he wasn't struggling. And that's why he asked him. But yet he doesn't try to say, well, that's not what I heard. He's willing to give up information when it suits him. He's willing to tell witnesses that Jason was in bad health and that he was probably going to die anyway. Who freaking says that as a detective to a witness who was actually involved in what possibly was his asphyxiation? That telling witnesses what the autopsy results were about Jason's health. That's utterly against every police protocol. I can't even believe what I've heard in this case.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I'm 285. He literally I was coming up off my
Or he was
feet.
bigger. He was 315, I think.
A lot better shape than me, too.
Younger.
You don't know that because you don't know him.
Did you see any injuries on him?
No.
He had a lot of injuries.
No, sir.
Okay.
If there was any injury,
So I'll tell you, I watched the camera from the deputy when he came in. I seen how you were positioned,
Mhm.
and I seen how you had a rank pretty consistent to what you just told me, and he wasn't moving at that.
That's right.
no, sir.
And you heard him take,
Well, it's just his lungs expressing. When I got up was when his lungs went.
Well, maybe you
his
should have
body-
got up sooner, Michael.
okay, all right,
Because it's that force
Yeah.
and all that adrenaline, and then I let it go, and all that blood was held up in his arms.
so he hit you first.
Well, he bumped me in the arm, but
It's still an unwanted touch, right?
yes.
No, he didn't.
So
How did he
pick up Jay?
I have no idea. I'm watching the football game,
Bullshit.
and I see him get up. And as soon as I see that, I roll.
That's bullshit. You know for damn well sure that Jay left that bar and came back in with a hatchet. Do not tell me that you watched a football game while one of your buddies hit the bar with a hatchet. No way, no how.
roll this way to sit up, and that's when Jay was flying in the air.
So he threw Jay. Did he grab Jay again after that?
No. We had hold of him by then.
I'd throw a guy too if he was coming at me with a
What
hatchet.
caused him to do that?
So would every one of you.
8 Jaeger bombs in a row.
Bullshit, Michael.
That's just what I'd heard, and that happened right before I got there,
Hearsay.
Right.
when he was being mean to other people and ended up getting kicked on out.
Being mean to other people does not constitute someone leaving the bar, getting a hatchet out of their vehicle, coming into the bar, and scaring the person who is being mean. Are you guys hearing all of this? This is all being told to the detective. We're listening to it. It's an audio interview that was given to Kara. This is fair use. We are trying to help solve a crime that others don't seem to have the time to do. And yes, I'm extra snarky tonight.
Talk to me about Jay's hatchet.
I never saw it.
Did you ever see him swing it and hit the bar?
No,
Bullshit. You're a liar.
Because Jay told me he did.
I never saw a hatchet. I heard about a hatchet. Heard about a machete, chainsaw. There was a gunfight,
I heard all kinds of crap too.
but I never saw a hatchet.
Did you know Jay had a hatchet on him?
No, sir.
Did he ever talk to you about?
We have 3 witnesses seen the hatchet, seen him leave the bar to get the hatchet. All this other stuff is nonsense. A gunfight, whatever. That's crap. This is a small bar, guys. I'm going to go back there and I'm going to do a video so you can actually see how small this place is and how there's no way anybody that was there didn't see Jay Keeney come into the bar with the hatchet. One of the people we listened to last week said that he came rushing into the bar with intention. Rushing into the bar with intention.
Wanting to sell that hatchet to anybody? Someone maybe.
Well, he constantly makes and sells iron, knives, and Damascus, and so I mean he's a blacksmith, foundry.
Yeah,
he does a little smelting too. I take him now that I've known him, you know, and more or less became friends with him over this. Oh, I got high carbon steel all the time.
Oh, really?
You know, pins and bushings and stuff like that. Loading them up, taking them on out to him.
Oh, good. Gives him something to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a frail little guy.
Oh, please.
That's why I said when I saw him flying through the air, I just instantly went, you know.
You didn't hear anything hit the bar besides Jason's hands. You didn't
No,
see,
really,
you
that
didn't
was
see
it.
Jay pull that axe and slam it onto the bar.
Yes, he did.
No, sir. I did not. I didn't see, because that would have been behind me because he was on this side. And
That's
I'm
not true.
watching because I usually close this eye.
Did Jason come up to the other side of Jay prior to him tossing him, or
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, I said, like I said, I saw him get up and go behind me. He was 3 bar stools down. I'm sitting right beside Jay. Next thing I know, I'm spinning around this way, seeing Jay fly that way and roll on out.
Okay, Michael. So how is it that Jason is 3 bar stools down, but he punched you in the arm before he tossed Jay through the air because you didn't see him leave and come back with the hatchet? And all the other witnesses say Jason never left his bar stool, that he was shouting and yelling and being annoying and being drunk from his bar stool, at least 3 to 4 bar stools down from you, Michael. So you want to explain all that to me? Let's have an interview, Michael. Come on, Social Change Warriors. Let's talk. Why don't you tell the truth? Tell us what really happened that night and how it all went down. Let's do that. Let's be a man.
Grabbed his arm, boom. There was no that I had seen. Like I said, I had my back to it.
okay?
He most certainly did not have
I'll be
his
honest with
back
you,
to it. I've
stories
been
that
in that
Jay
bar.
held the axe up to him. There are stories that, well, Jay himself told me he smacked the bar, trying to get this guy to knock his shit off and trying to scare him into leaving, but Jay said that backfired.
Because that's what we all do when we're at a bar and there's a verbal altercation and someone's drunk. We run out to our cars and get a hatchet and run back in to try to scare the person who's drunk. That's it. That's the common, rational, normal response that humans make when they're in a bar.
You know, and then somebody told me that they actually saw Jay hit him with the axe, but I
Never saw any of that.
okay. Did Jay have the axe in his hand when he got chucked? Or when he
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
All right.
Like I said, all I saw was white hair and a skinny old man flying in the air.
Anything in his hands? Okay.
It was, you know, in that big motherfucker.
There was something there. So he gestured or he did something in silence because did you hear? I'm going to play that again. Did you hear the detective? So something wacky's going on right here at like the 1520 to 1548 mark. So I'm going to make a note of that. We'll go over that for the documentary for sure. Sorry, guys. I am just pissed tonight. I'm mad my friend Jeannie's in intensive care, gratefully moved to the ward now tonight. I'm mad about Sara Ebersole's case. I'm mad about Jason's case. I am just mad tonight. This should really be Wednesday. It should be the Angry Bitch Club. So sorry for all the snark and my voice. I'm just fucking sick of all these lying people and police not doing their job. I'm embarrassed to have ever been a police officer the way all these cases are being handled. It's just disgusting. All right, I'm going to let this last part roll. I'm going to rewind just a smidge because I want you to hear what I heard.
That I had seen. Like I said, I had my back to it.
That's not true. That's a lie.
I'll be honest with you, there's stories that Jay held the axe up to him. There are stories that, well, Jay himself told me he smacked the bar, trying to get this guy to knock his shit off and trying to scare him into leaving. But Jay said that backfired. You know, and then somebody told me that they actually saw Jay hit him with the axe. But
I never saw any of that.
Okay. Did Jay have the axe in his hand when he got chucked? Or when he...
Okay, I'll give this to Wheeler. Now he's trying to circle back around and get Michael to admit that he saw Jay with the hatchet. You can all see that, right? That's a tactic he's using to circle back around and get Michael Beerley to admit that he did see Jay with the hatchet. And then this is where the whispering or something weird is occurring. So listen closely.
No, not that I know of. Not that I know of.
All right.
Like I said, all I saw was white hair and a skinny old man flying in the air.
Anything in his hands? I got it. Okay.
It was, and then that big motherfucker. He was huge.
So yeah, he was a big boy. So after the deputies came and relieved you, I know that the one guy with the cut off shirt, he got in and started helping with CPR. Did you just leave?
Yes, sir. Looked like they had it handled.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I didn't need.
Nobody told you to stay or around or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at that moment. Okay. You ever see this guy before, Jason?
They say I have, but I never had. Not that I remember. Because even someone showed me a picture of him, and a friend of mine that.
Can you guys still hear the audio? Michelle is in the green room and she said she couldn't hear. So maybe something weird happened when I went back. Let me know if you guys haven't been hearing the audio for the past couple minutes. Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate you. I'm going to bring you let me bring you on the stage. You can block your camera. There might be something going on with the green room tonight. So I'll add you to the stage. You can block your camera if you want to. Oh, okay. She's not there now. Let me know that you all have been hearing the audio for the past couple minutes. If somebody can just type in yes to the chat box for me, because sometimes there's tech issues. That's why I check in with you guys a lot to make sure that you're hearing the audio and hearing me. So I'm unmuted. I hope you're hearing me. Julie, Ashley, Shauna, anybody, if you want to type in the chat box that you've been listening to the audio the last few minutes, that'd be great. Michelle told me there might have been a tech issue. She's going to be here to chat with me about Sara here in a few minutes. Now I'm worried nobody's hearing me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Hey guys, can anybody hear me? I think we might be having a tech issue. I need to know if you were listening, if you were able to hear the audio the last few minutes that I was going over. If somebody can type in the chat box and let me know you're good, you can hear me, that would be great, because I am not sure. Thanks to Michelle, she said we might have a tech issue. It might have been the green room, but I just want to know. So let me know. I'm going to block my camera a second. Okay, yes, heard it all. Okay. I think it might be Michelle's end. So she says she'll come on another night, which is just fine. I'll just do a brief update on Sara when we're done with Jason. Might be her internet tonight. Stand by, everybody. I'm just touching base with Michelle here for a second. Okay, that's great. Well, we'll do an interview with Michelle next week. She might be having a tech issue herself. So, and thanks, Ashley, for letting me know. So let's go back. I'm gonna start it again now that we know our tech issue is okay. So let me go back here and share the screen again, and we'll go back to where we were. And I want you to tell me if you hear anything like that I heard, where there was some type of a gesturing by Michael or some type of whispering going on, something like that.
Is a friend of his. And had
Talking about Daniel?
yeah. Had a picture of him, and he had a goatee. And I'm like,
I'm just going to rewind.
I spoke to him, probably spoke to
I
him,
want you to hear that. I want you to hear that.
but
Not in that element.
no. He was. It was, in that big one. Fucking, he's huge.
So, yeah, he was a big.
He whispered it sort of. Then that big MNFer, he was huge. Guys, Jay refers to Michael Beerley as the big guy. This guy is huge as well. He might not be quite as beefy as Jason was, but they were, I believe, the same height. And again, he did not attack Michael Beerley. He attacked the person who had a hatchet in his hand and was coming at him with a hatchet. So let's keep all that in mind.
Boy, so after the deputies came and relieved you, I know that the one guy with the cutoff shirt, he got in and started helping with CPR. Did you just leave?
Yes, sir. Looked like they had it handled.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I didn't.
Nobody told you to stay around or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, there was a lot going on at that moment. Okay. You ever see this guy before, Jason?
They say I have, but I never had. Not that I remember.
Okay.
So Michael just admitted that he felt the life leave Jason. And I am so sorry on replay to Kara and Jason's family. It's harsh and I'm sorry, but this is what we're doing on Thursday nights. We have to get down to the harshness of it all. And I know sometimes you don't come and that's okay, because we're here to try to help you solve this case. And we don't need you to always be here because you've had to listen to a lot of this over and over for the past 2 years. But the harshness of it is that Michael admitted that he felt the breath going out of Jason, him taking his last breath. How in the hell do you think it's okay for you to leave? You participated in somebody's last breath leaving their body, but you think it's okay for you to leave. Come on, right? Please.
Because even someone showed me a picture of him, and a friend of mine is a friend of his, and had
Talking about Daniel?
had a picture of him.
Yeah.
And he had a goatee. And I'm like, I spoke to him, probably spoke to him.
Yeah.
But not
in that element.
No. He was a Coors Light drinker, so he'd only have a beer or two. I heard he was a lineman.
Oh, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
He described his personality. But I mean, what?
Typical construction worker, hard ass. But when he was drunk at the bar, the 2 times that I'd seen him that night, he was a bully.
What was he doing? To describe bully, what was he doing?
Okay, guys, it's not cutting out or in for me, but I just noticed this is what happened like 3 weeks ago with Friday Night Lies. My cord was loose, so my battery wasn't charging, and now it's not loose. So let me know if the audio clears up. My battery is low, but it's charged. It's plugged in now. So let's see what happens here in the next few minutes. Thanks, guys. Oh, clear again. Yeah, that's because my battery was going low. The darn cord is kind of loose and it keeps coming out. I'll have to put a little extra push into that now and make sure I keep an eye on that. Thank you. Okay, we'll go back and finish him up.
Well, more or less picking one person out, and then just sat there and was talking to him, but very loudly, hovered over top of his body, and then he would find someone else and do the same thing to. He was looking for soft targets.
So he was basically just harassing people.
Yeah.
He was looking for anybody that
Bar
would
bully.
listen to him.
Did he
Stop
threaten you
with
at all?
this. Stop with this soft
Did he
target nonsense. That's like trying to purposely pin it on Jason that he was premeditatively looking for a soft target. That's not the case at all. Jason was far too intoxicated to be looking for anything like that. He was just mad because he wanted another drink. He obviously had had a bad day, and that's why he drank so much, or maybe he just drank so much because he did. A lot of people do that. They get carried away. They're out with their friends. They're having a good time, and they drink too much. Kara said it's very uncharacteristic of him to drink that much anyway. And he was never a bully. He was a big old teddy bear. Everybody I've spoken to said he was nice as can be, and that this was completely out of character for him to get that intoxicated. So there's no way he was looking for soft targets. That's just bullshit. That's Michael Beery trying to cover his own freaking ass.
Tell you he was going to kick your ass?
Yes.
Did he tell Jay he was going to kick his ass?
Oh, yeah. He said, I'm going to kick everybody's ass. I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to him.
That's when he came to the bar. Because you are here, Jay's next to you, so he probably was just going to go down the line.
Yep.
He was 3 bar stools
When
away.
he was doing all that, what were these other guys by the pool table doing? Did anybody
Shooting
speak?
pool.
Did anybody speak up or get involved?
Redacted. Shouldn't be. Case is closed. No charges. Should not be redacted.
Come get him.
Is he staggering? Slurring his words?
I really couldn't tell you. I don't think he was.
He most certainly was in the audio with the sheriff who contacted him at Charlie's because the bartender said that he had dropped his bike a couple times and that he was obviously highly intoxicated, and he was slurring his words when he spoke to the sheriff, who should have arrested him for being on a running motorcycle and drunk driving, or she should have made sure he got home safely and not just left the scene. So if he was slurring his words 40 minutes earlier and the alcohol was still building in his system, he most certainly was intoxicated and appeared intoxicated to everyone at that bar at the Cabbage Patch.
No, because he was wound up. I don't know if it was from the Red Bulls, the Jägermeisters, Booger Sugar. Who knows?
Yeah.
No,
appear
you
to
don't
be
get to say that.
drunk
He had no
or
drugs
just
in his system.
Oh, yeah, he was drunk.
Yeah.
You don't get to accuse someone of taking drugs unless you saw it or you know it for sure, Michael. He had no drugs in his system, so that's bullshit too.
And agitated. But he's just one of those, you've met people like that before when they get drunk. They get loud.
Did he scream out anything while he was at the bar?
Like, I'm the baddest motherfucking Republican in here.
Is that what he said?
That the exact
Did
words.
somebody,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to get political, but I find it hard to believe that a Democrat's going to hang out at that bar. Did somebody say something?
About him say,
Yeah.
no Democrats.
Well, I know, but I didn't know if
If
somebody.
they do, they're older Yankees that are old Union people.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been to the corner. The corner is like a soft opening of what the Cabbage Patch is
Oh,
like.
Charlie's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Charlie's.
Politics has nothing to do with this. Jason was just mouthing off and being a smartass because he was drunk. It was simple as that. It wasn't anything more or less than that. He wasn't ever going to strike anybody. I am guaranteed that was never going to happen. He was just mouthing off, being verbal, being aggressive. The police were on their way. They would have either arrested him for disorderly conduct, or they would have escorted him out and had made sure they called a ride for him, because they're not going to let him ride his motorcycle at that point, I wouldn't think. Who knows after what happened on this night? But he most certainly would have been just escorted out of the bar, told to go home. Maybe they would have called a ride for him. I don't know for sure, right? We don't know for sure what they would have done. But if they would have let him get on that motorcycle and leave, that would have been a triple tragedy of epic proportions after the first officer already let him leave. And then the 911 caller not maybe showing cause for this to have been escalating a little sooner, because this was his second time back at the bar. So I don't know why, if this 911 call was made, the first one, why it wasn't made with more expediency, like, you need to get here. This guy's already been here. He's already been obnoxious. I think this could escalate. So many mistakes made on this night that cost Jason his life and his family a lifetime of grief and sorrow.
I still call it. It was Mike's Corner since 1924.
I do remember that, and it was just turned Sorry Charlie's not too long
a couple
ago.
of years ago.
I'm from up north, so I worked at a paper mill, and so I know the union stuff, and so I get it. Yeah, that's.
And I mean, hey, it takes both sides. But I'm honest, I'm not a Trumper.
Oh, I'm not even getting into.
He would have been a good president if he could just shut his goddamn mouth.
Yeah, well, we're not even getting into the politics. I get it, but nobody there said anything about politics or anything to challenge him.
No.
He just put it out there that he was just the biggest, baddest Republican there, huh?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not that I had heard of.
Yeah.
Now
no,
there was an older couple. I couldn't tell you who they were, and I think there was someone else out there.
Lady have white hair.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. But my biggest fear was, Dawn, and she did him out. She went behind the back in the kitchen. She stayed back there. And then when shit hit the fan, I saw her running out as I was spinning around. And then when I got up, she was there. So I got up, I went over, I finished my beer, set it down, put my card on top, gave the girl $1 for my beer, and
What were you drinking?
PBR.
Trying to remember if there was a PBR at the bar. You probably finished it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think.
Well, there were some
Dawn-
beer cans up there and cups and stuff, and then just broke.
But Jay
glasses.
drinks PBR too.
Did you see him smash his glasses?
No.
Did he smack the bar, Jason, at all? Is he smacking
Oh
the
yeah,
bar?
constantly. And I mean, rattling the beer coolers.
Yeah, he's a big boy. How was he when Dawn told him no more beer, no more booze, or I'm not serving you?
Well, he got loud and then he got real quiet, and that you could just hear him over there growling, and that's when he decided he was going to be a douchebag to everybody in the bar.
He went straight for Jay.
No, he did not. He never
guess
left
so.
his bar stool.
I mean, maybe, but he got up and maybe Jay was watching him and he stood up first.
Did you hear him say he went straight for Jay? And then there's this huge pause because he knows that's not what happened. The other witnesses said Jason never got up from his bar stool until Jay came back into the bar with the hatchet and swung it at him. So Michael is talking out of his ass. I hope you're listening to this, Michael, because you know you are.
I mean, honestly, even if Jay did smack the bar with a hatchet, so what? You know what I mean? That's why I'm curious.
Detective Wheeler. So what? Who cares if a guy comes running into a bar with a hatchet with intention, according to one of the witnesses? With intention. So what?
Because Jay told me he had the hatchet and he was going to sell it to somebody, but then he said he smacked the bar with it. But you never heard that because that'd be pretty loud. There was a nice.
Oh, it was loud, but it was loud.
Aha. Do you hear him? There it is. Thank you, Michael. Finally, 22 minutes and 30 seconds in, you admit you hear the smacking of the hatchet. Good job, Detective Wheeler. Very nice job. I'll give you that one.
Him slapping the bar. You know what I mean? And I was focused on the TV, just to totally black him out,
Nah.
but still kept him in my peripheral.
Let me go back. I think he backtracked and made it sound like it was Jason that was slapping on the bar. I think Wheeler was trying to get it out of him that he heard the hatchet hit the bar. So I'm going to redo that. Maybe I misunderstood that. I want to make sure I got that right. Hang on a sec. Let's go back. Let me come back to the chat a minute. Maybe you guys heard that better than I did. All right, I'm going to go back because I maybe I misunderstood that. I thought Wheeler was coming back around again, trying to get him to admit that he saw the hatchet in Jay's hand or that he heard the hatchet hit the bar. So let's go back on that a little bit.
could just hear him over there growling, and
You guys listen to, because sometimes it's hard to catch all this. So please tell me in the chat what you hear. If you hear what I hear, or if I misunderstood it.
that's when he decided he was going to be a douchebag to everybody in the bar.
He went straight for Jay.
I guess so. I mean, maybe he got up and maybe Jay was watching him and he stood up first.
He did stand up first.
Honestly, even if Jay did smack the bar with a hatchet, so what? You know what I mean? That's why I'm curious if because Jay told me he had to hatchet and he was going to sell it to somebody, but then he said he smacked the bar with it. But you never heard that, because that'd be pretty loud. There was a nice.
Oh, it was loud, but it was loud him slapping the bar.
Okay, yeah, he covered himself there. He fucked up, right, everybody? He agreed with. So good job, Detective Wheeler. That was a good job. You came back around. You got him. He said it. Not that you did anything with it. Not that you maybe put it in your report and told how many times these guys lied, so the DA would have that information. I still want to know what the DA actually heard from you in your report. But there it is. He absolutely got him. He caught him. He said it. He said he was definitely admitting that he heard the hatchet hit the bar. And then he immediately backtracked and said, oh, Jason's hands hitting the bar. So come on, let's go. That's ridiculous. That should have been pointed out in his report to the DA. All of Jay's lies, his lies, boom. As Turtle Boy says for Karen Reed, tick, tick, boom.
You know what I mean? And I was focused on the TV just to totally black him out, but still kept him in my peripheral. I mean, it could have been him smacking the bar. It could have been an axe. I have no idea. I didn't see it.
Okay.
Like I said, I was, here's the corner of the bar. I'm sitting on this side, but I'm looking this way, and the corner goes that way.
Yeah, it goes like this.
Yeah, and I was sitting on
right here.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Because you were paying attention to everything Jason was doing. You were worried about Dawn. You weren't watching the football game. Please, please, please. You think the detective's an idiot, apparently, which because of the way he's acted in this case, he's certainly making himself out to be that way. But Michael, you should have just told the truth. And this would all have maybe gone away by now. And maybe it would have just been a misdemeanor. Who knows? Because you screwed both you and Jay with all your lies and not willing to man up and tell the truth of what you did. We'll see what the DA has to say when they see all of this organized in such a nice fashion.
Right on the corner. Jay was on one corner. I was on the opposite.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you guys had the corner surrounded, and he was over here.
Yes,
he just got up
by the cash register.
He's got up and walked around like this, and that's not too far from the pool table.
No, not at all.
Okay.
They were closer to the pool table. Jay and Michael were at the corner of the bar. This is a very small bar. I'm going to go back out and do a video. Very small bar. They were at the corner. Jason was to their left, down at the end of the bar. If you come in the front door of this restaurant, this bar, the Cabbage Patch, and you walk straight ahead, you would have run right into Jason. And if you turn to your right, 4 bar stools down, you would have run right into Michael Beerley and Jay. That's where they were.
Oh, Jay probably only went 8-10 foot in the air.
Well, I don't
He's
buy
got
it.
some nice bruises.
Yeah, he showed me some good bruises.
I'm sure he did.
All right. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else, Mike. Did you know the 2 guys that were in there that helped you take them down?
No idea. Couldn't tell you.
No names.
Never seen them before.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm usually, especially the patch is Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday about 3:00. Unless they're having the car show in the wintertime, I'll bring an antique tractor down and park them beside because they have a little car show there on the 3rd week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not if I'm working over at Omega Ranch, I'll pop in on Tuesdays and have a glass of beer and see Miss Jen, because she sells pickles and eggs and stuff like that.
Miss Jen.
Yeah, Miss Jennifer, one of the barmaids. The daytime barmaids.
Oh, I got you.
She sells
Barmaids. Who
produce.
calls bartenders
Oh, that's cool.
barmaids? It's 2025, Michael. Good
Have you
Lord.
been recording me?
Women
No,
have
no,
had
that's
the
my
right
radio.
to vote for a long time.
Oh, that's my radio. See,
We also are
this is
presidents
hooked
of
up to my phone by
companies
Bluetooth.
and police
I
officers
got
and
it. It picks up
firefighters.
2
Yeah.
this-
Oh. Yeah, Mike,
If you have any questions,
I can't really think of anything else. I think we covered it.
Oh, you covered it.
You raise your right hand for me?
Oh, of course.
You solemnly swear everything you told me is true, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
Liar.
Yeah, I can't really.
Yeah,
Philly.
And oh shit, they don't drink soda. They drink pop.
Pop. That's what I used to call it. When I moved to Vegas, I started. That's what they did. They
That's it, guys. I'm so pissed. Man, I'm mad. I don't even want to come on camera right now because I'm so mad. I am so disgusted with the behavior of these witnesses. A man's life was taken, and it just doesn't seem to matter to any of them. Most of the witnesses, the only one that I really felt like showed any empathy or sadness was the witness that actually said that Jason hit the ground hard and that he hit his head and that he did not seem to be moving after that. That's the only witness that actually really seemed to show a lot of emotion or empathy for this situation, that this man's life was taken at the Cabbage Patch for absolutely zero reason. There was no reason why this should have happened. He was being obnoxious and loud and verbally a jerk. So that was up to the bar. Sorry, it was light when we started and now it's dark. We don't usually start at 7. Yes, he should have been kicked out of the bar. Yes, he probably should have gotten a disorderly conduct ticket. But anybody who walks into a bar with a hatchet that doesn't get a disorderly conduct ticket it's their luckiest day on the planet. And the fact that that hatchet being out caused then this bar fight that went from verbal to physical because Jason was attacked with a hatchet. Plain and simple. There's no other way around that. That is no longer Florida stand your ground law for Jay or Michael or anyone in that bar that would have brought a hatchet in. Once you bring a hatchet into a bar and your intention is to scare the person that's pissing you off with their words, you have now stepped up above. You don't get to do that. Florida stand your ground law is even. You can evenly do what the other person is doing to you. And you have to prove that. Jason passed away. He was held down. Whether they meant to do it or not, that's manslaughter. Jay attacked Jason with a hatchet. That is attacking someone with a deadly weapon. He swung it at him. He swung it at the bar. There's witnesses. What the hell is going on, Volusia County, Florida? Get your shit together. Somebody needs to file charges against somebody, and Jason deserves justice. So we will continue to talk about Jason and his case, and Kara, his wife, will be back with us next week. She's working tonight. We will continue to go over the rest of the audio that we have from a few more witnesses to see if it's something we need or want to use for the mini doc that we're making. Thank you to everyone that cares about Jason and what happens to him as far as justice for him is going. We can't bring him back, obviously, but we can continue to advocate for him. He is a victim of a crime, and we will continue to advocate for him, and we will continue to call out shoddy police work when we see it. There's nothing worse for a former police officer like myself, and I've chatted with many about this case, than to see this kind of work being done, or to see what's happened to the Karen Reed, John O'Keefe case, where there was obviously corruption and crime going on by the police in covering up and framing an innocent person to cover up for their friends, Brian Higgins and Brian Albert, who were police officers. We don't know what the heck's going on with Brian Higgins, but Brian Albert has since retired. But again, that's crime and corruption. Lots of people need to go to jail. We'll give you updates on that tomorrow night when we cover it in Friday Night Lies on Friday night, the Karen Reed trial number 1. going over witnesses. Tomorrow will be Colin Albert and the kids in the truck. Ricky, we did Ryan last time, so Ricky and Heather. And we'll get into Tick Tick Boom with Colin Albert tomorrow night as well. But when a former police officer like myself retired, and some of my friends who I've called and told about these cases, it makes us extra mad, because police are not supposed to be criminals. Police are not supposed to do shoddy police work. They're trained. They go to in-service. They're supposed to do the absolute best they can do at all times, because their job is so important to the community and to people that are victims and their families. So we'll continue to cover this case for Kara and her family, and Jason's mom and dad and I believe step parents as well are involved, and family. So we'll be back next week with some more audio and a little bit more background on what's going on. Kara had a big meeting that didn't really go very far. She'll come on and talk to us about that again next week. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to take just a very momentary break. We're going to just break for just a few minutes, and I want to give you I have a very small update right now on Sara Ebersole, and hopefully Michelle will come back on next week and we'll chat with her more about what's going on. But I'll give you just a brief break here for a minute. I got to get up, stretch my knee, my healing knee. So give me just a moment. I'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Thanks. I'm back. Just had to stretch my knee for a minute. So thanks for listening in with me on the audio of the interviews with the witnesses / those who helped hold Jason down as we try to formulate this mini doc that we're going to use to try to help get more attention and possibly, hopefully, get the DA to reconsider charges in the case. Sara Ebersole. If you've all been following along with us on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we've been advocating for Michelle, who is Sara Ebersole's sister, who has tirelessly been advocating for her sister. She has made thousands of flyers that she has put up all over Marion County, in the Ocala area, the Reddick area, other towns nearby surrounding Marion County, tirelessly looking for her sister. Very sadly, she has been missing 2 years on March the 3rd, and this is probably, I'm afraid, no longer a rescue. I hate to say it, but obviously in my years of experience and with what I know about true crime and about missing, 2 years is a very long time, and there's nothing to lend us to believe that Sara would have wanted to disappear. There was no reason for it. She had never done anything like this. She had a job. She had a daughter. She had Michelle. She had family and friends. There's no way she would have just taken off. She would have had no money, no phone, no access to money. She literally just disappeared into thin air on March 3rd, 2023 at approximately 4 a.m. from what we can garner from what the police have told us, because it's an ongoing investigation. The police reports that we do have are redacted. So, but what we have garnered through interviews that I was able to have with the supervisor, with Sergeant Sheely, and with his detective, there is information that lends us to believe that her phone was active on, I believe it was YouTube and Snapchat, and they were able to go in the cloud. Michelle was able to get access to her cloud, and then the police were able to get access to Tyrone Mormon's phone, who we believe, hello, Kara. Thank you for checking in. She said, I'm at work and probably won't make it, but I'll try to check in. We started at 7, Kara. We have already covered Jason. We have gone over the testimony of Michael Beerley, the testimony to the detective, not in a court of law, but as an interview. And we were mad tonight, Kara. This was more like Wednesday's Angry Bitch Club. It wasn't as much calling out corruption, where we stick to the facts of the case. I was mad. I was snarky. The chat box was snarky and mad. And if you do listen to it back, we did not show the body footage, though. We just listened to Michael Beerley tonight so we could get all of the sound bites from his ridiculous interview where he lied about every other breath coming out of his mouth. So you can go back and watch us. We started at 7. I have to go back to the hospital tonight to see my friend. So we're just going over what I have as a brief update on Sara Ebersole. And I hope you're having a good night at work. And we will be, I'm at every day, so I understand. Yes, we know you are, Kara. And we're going to keep doing whatever we can do to stand for Jason and to help you get justice. As we are continuing to stand for Michelle and for Sara and for Sarah's daughter, Cora, so that this family can get closure and justice. So as I was saying, she's been missing for 2 years. She vanished into thin air. The last person, according to phone records, to have seen her is Tyrone Mormon. He is refusing to cooperate with the police. Michelle has raised a $20,000 reward for anyone that has any information. Somebody out there has to know something other than Tyrone. And I understand what snitching is. I get it. But this is bigger than that now, because Cora, Sarah's daughter, is in the hands of who we believe is possibly the person that unalived Sara, and who has had a history of violence and should not be raising this child. There have been multiple DCF reports about Cora's bruising, Cora's psychological demeanor from teachers. I myself have made a report. Others have made reports. There is currently an active investigation going on where we believe he is currently living in Sarasota. This is more than just about where Sara is. It's about saving a child. So we have to find Sara so we can bring her home to her family. And we need to make sure that Joe does no longer get to have parental rights of this child based on all the reports for 2 long years. And every time a DCF report is filed, whether it's in Kentucky or Tallahassee or Ocala or Sarasota, he moves. He picks up and either quits the job or he ends up getting fired because he has a temper. And this child has been in 3 schools and she's only in kindergarten. And the reports from the teachers are alarming and concerning, and something has to happen. Department of Children and Families has to intervene here. They have to do something to save this child. There is no way she is safe with this person. Now, Tyrone Mormon comes in because his phone, Bubba, who Sarah was partying with that night, he gave an interview that he texted Tyrone to come over and party with them at roughly midnight. So Tyrone's phone backs all that up. So unless Tyrone let someone else borrow his phone and this other person was partying and then was the one that gave Sarah a ride, because Sarah's phone and Tyrone's phone were pinging at a gas station at roughly maybe 3:34 in the morning. The police haven't given me that exact time frame yet. But Tyrone, you were with them. You were partying with them. Nobody's accusing you of hurting Sarah. You have been accused of nothing other than what your phone has been accused of doing. Your phone has been accused of being with Sarah's phone, in the same place at the same time, shortly before she dropped off the face of the planet. So where did you take her? Did you drive her to Joe? Is Joe threatening you? Did you drive her home and Joe was waiting and it scared you and you left and you're afraid because you're afraid of Joe? Tyrone, there's a reason why you're not telling us the truth. We know you were there. And if you weren't there, who are you covering for? Who had your phone? Who was partying with Sarah and Bubba? Those are the answers that the police need. These are the questions, the answers that we need. We need these so that we can figure out what happened to Sarah that night. It's not right, okay, that you're not telling us, because the proof is in the phone. This is modern technology, Tyrone and Tyrone's family. This is modern technology. Nobody's accusing your son, Indy, of anything other than his phone and Sarah's phone were in the same place at the same time, and then Sarah went missing. So make that make sense. We need to save Cora. We probably can't save Sarah, but we can bring her home to her family so they can have a funeral for her, and we can save a 6-year-old child. We as a community can come together and be a village, and we can save Cora. We couldn't save Sarah. There's nothing any of us could have done that night. If Joe was planning this and was always going to do this based on all of his actions leading up, the domestic violence, the stalking, the computer technology of getting onto her socials, and constantly harassing her, gaslighting her all the time. It is on and on and on and on. And if you go on Michelle's Facebook, you will see the police records of everything that has gone on with this man. And he now has custody because he manipulated the system because of how he can do that. He's talented. When I talked to DCF, they said, well, how can this happen? Because you're dealing with a con artist. And when you're dealing with a con artist, they can make anybody believe anything. They can make you believe it's snowing in Florida. And yes, it did snow in Florida over there in the Panhandle. So sorry about that. I had to bring that up, didn't I? But they can make you believe something that really isn't happening because they're just that good. And when you've lived a long life of being a con artist like Joe has, you become an expert at it. And that's how he was able to get this custody of this child. That's how he's able to continue to keep custody of this child when he does not deserve it. We believe he doesn't deserve it. Many other people have filed complaints with DCF that believe he doesn't deserve to have custody of this child. And I was on the phone with DCF and I said to them, you have received so many complaints. You have a pattern. Joe moves, DCF complaint. Joe moves, DCF complaint. DCF complaint, Joe moves again. It's a vicious circle for 2 years. Let me get the puppy. Stand by. Come here. Come on. Okay. He just woke up from his very long nap. He was at the beach today and he needs a bath. He's been in the shower, but he definitely needs a bath. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi. Say we're standing for Sarah, and we're going to get Cora back so that you can meet her. Yes, we're going to get that little sweet girl back so you can meet her someday and she can play with a puppy. That's our job, is to save people. That's what we're doing at Social Change Warriors. We're getting justice. We're trying to help find missing. We're trying to save other people that are in trouble the best we can. And we're calling out corruption. That's what we're doing. So, hi, Tanner. Yes. So, what did you say? I got to go to Shauna. Let's see. Shauna says, hell officially froze over. I said a few months ago. Oh, wait, I'm missing something here. Okay. Do the right thing, Tyrone. Yes. Thank you, Shauna. That's what everybody's saying. Tyrone, you can be out of this. All you have to do is tell us where you dropped Sarah off. And I'm sorry if Joe has threatened you, because he's not a good man. He's a bad man, and he'll threaten more people in the future if he's allowed to continue to do it. So I'm sorry if you got yourself involved in something you didn't intend to that night, but it's time now. You have to tell the truth. So Michelle is in the process of she collected funds for a billboard. So I think, hang on, I believe I can show that to you. Let me present my screen here a second. By the way, this is Bring Betty Home. Betty is a woman a little bit older than me. She went missing when I believe she was 68 years old, and she disappeared like Sarah, literally disappeared into thin air. It's utterly heartbreaking, and hopefully we can chat with the family soon. I have been so busy with our current cases. I have not had time. I'm so sorry, Betty's family and friends, to reach back out to yet to get more details, but I'm hoping to get copies of the police report, and we can all talk about it here and unpack what happened to Betty that night and see if we can come up with any answers for the family, more than they have now. I will definitely get on this as soon as I can. So hopefully we can help out with Betty here in the near future. So I want to remind all of you, if you go to the beach or a lake near your house this summer, please take a seashell and write hashtag Sara Ebersole on it, or hashtag where is Sara Ebersole, and leave the seashells so that others find them and look it up and hopefully share out the story of Sarah until we can find her. So let me go back. This was the old poster. That's why I had the new one up. Sorry, puppy's ready for me to be done. So let me go back real quickly to, I want to bring up the Facebook page. So stand by. Stand by, guys. I'm just trying to bring up Michelle's page so I can show you what the billboard's going to look like. So give me just a sec. Hang on, I'm having trouble finding what I want. Give me a sec. Sometimes I don't use Facebook a lot and it gets on my nerves because I can't always find what I want. Okay. All right. Now I'm on her page. Let me try to make it bigger so you guys can see it better. All right, I'll do my best to try to pull up this billboard for you, but I'm going to take a picture of it and then I'll add it to our case deck for Sarah, and then you'll be able to see a lot better. But let me see if I can scroll down and at least show you. It's really quite something. And Michelle, again, has just tirelessly continued to work for her sister. She makes posts every day, videos of Sarah that a lot of us have never seen. So definitely go to Michelle's page and friend her and follow, share out everything. She does amazing Facebook videos and constantly posts about Sarah every day. So let me try to find the one where she put up the billboard. Let's see. And she's been raising money that she's been making. She's been very transparent on what she's receiving for donations. Very upfront, because there are those that have accused her of taking vacations and spending money on food, which is completely a lie. Michelle has been upfront about all of the donations, the money she's spent on posters and billboards and signs. This is the video, Creeps and Peaks, that they made. Let's see if we can watch this. Let me see if it'll show up. You guys let me know if this shows up. Hang on a second. Now I lost where I was. There it is. Let me know if you guys can see that. Let me come back into the room. Okay, yep, there it is. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'll take a photo of it. Hang on, the puppy just grabbed something from me. Give me that, puppy. Stop that. Stop taking my things. I will take a picture of this and I'll put it in Sarah's case file and we'll show it to you next time. And obviously when it goes up, I'll go out in person and take a picture of it. But this is the billboard. Let me try to pull it up. There we go. I think you can see it better. Missing endangered mother, case number 235233. It has the phone number for the Marion County Sheriff. Missing since March 3rd, 2023, $20,000 reward. And as of right now, the sheriff are only listing person of interest as Tyrone Mormon based on phone records. But obviously you all know that I believe that Joe Maiden is a person of interest, very heavy, based on the domestic violence of Sarah since she was 15 until she disappeared at 26. She encountered and endured constant domestic violence from Joe Maiden, more than I think anyone in her family even knew, because I think some of it he kept from them so that they wouldn't worry about her or be scared for her. So I think this is the pattern of many women who are under domestic violence. They don't always share all of it with their families. So if you can imagine how horrible it is, what you do know, it's probably way worse than that. So this is what Michelle has worked on with this company, the billboard, where it's going to be going up. They are going to add Sarah's name. So they're working on fixing that before the print. So Sarah's name will be put up there. It's a lot, and it's obviously a lot to figure out and process. So that's how that was missed. But they definitely are doing a great job helping Michelle. And I'll keep you posted. I'll go out and take a photo of it up close and personal as well. And so let me go back to here to her Facebook page. I'm going to see if I can play this for y'all. I'd like to. Otherwise, I might be able to grab it off of Creeps and Peeps YouTube. Let me see if it shows up. Let me know if you guys can see this. Just type in the chat box, yes, we hear it. I don't think it's playing. Yeah, it's not playing. Stand by, guys. I'm going to go to YouTube and try to pull it up. Stand by. Hang on a second. I'm going to reshare my screen because then I'll be able to grab it off of YouTube.
In this video, we unravel the final hours before Sara Ebersole disappeared, exposed.
Let's take it back to the beginning here.
A young mother vanishes without no warning, no goodbye.
I can't hear it.
One
Let
moment,
me know if you guys
she was
can
at a
hear
gathering, laughing,
For some reason,
alive.
it's not playing the sound for me.
By morning, she was gone.
Let me know if you guys can
No
hear
one
the
knows
sound.
where
I can't
or
hear the
why.
sound on my end, but sometimes
But
that's
the
just a
clues,
glitch and you guys can
they
hear
paint
it.
a chilling
So somebody
picture.
can type yes or no.
From a
that you can hear the
suspicious last
sound on this
sighting captured
video.
on camera to a shocking clue uncovered by her sister.
'Cause for
This
some
case
reason,
is
I
filled
can't
with
hear it.
twists, secrets, and questions no one can answer. Was it foul play, or something even darker lurking beneath the surface? In this video, we unravel the final hours before Sara Ebersole disappeared,
Good. Thank
expose
you.
the conflicting
Thank you,
stories,
Julie.
and reveal new
Thank you,
evidence
Ashley.
that could break the case wide open. Stay with us, because the truth is more disturbing than anyone imagined. Sara Gale Vann, born on September 18, 1996, was more than a headline. She was a devoted mother, a beloved sister, and a fighter. But beneath her vibrant spirit, Sara carried invisible scars. From a young age, she was stalked, controlled, and eventually trapped. In 2014, 18-year-old Sara married Thomas Allen Ebersole. Their fresh start in Dunallen, Florida, was short-lived, and by November 2015, they divorced. Though the marriage ended, Sara never legally changed her name back. Ebersole remained, a lingering reminder of a past she had already left behind. Years earlier, when Sara was around 16, she met Joseph Merlin Mayton. At first, he seemed harmless, but over time, he became fixated on her and other girls, often lurking near the local high school. What began as a casual presence soon turned into something much darker. Years later, after moving to Reddick, Florida, Sara tried to start fresh. But Joseph reappeared through MySpace, sending an innocent message that quickly escalated into something far more sinister. Within 3 months, he isolated Sara from everyone she loved, asserting total control over her life. Joseph's violent past wasn't a secret. Multiple women had filed restraining orders against him for stalking, coercion, and abuse. But Sara became his next target. When she became pregnant, the violence intensified. At 6 months pregnant, an argument over something as simple as humming turned violent. Joseph slammed her against the wall, an act of rage that left Sara with no choice but to seek legal protection. But even after being granted a restraining order, the torment didn't stop. Joseph's psychological torment escalated. He hacked her social media, tracked her every move, and sent chilling messages describing her whereabouts. Sara worked as an exotic dancer to provide for her child, but Joseph controlled her finances, keeping her trapped. He even forced her into a hostage-like situation in a hotel, using their daughter as leverage to maintain power over her. Sara fought to protect her daughter, initially refusing Joseph unsupervised visits. But after the court granted him access, Joseph manipulated situations to gain more control. He coerced Sara into signing custody papers, and when she refused to have another child, he withheld their daughter to further manipulate her. Sara's final words to loved ones were chilling. "The happier you keep Joseph, the less violent he will be." A haunting reminder of the control he held over her life. March 2nd, 2023 started like any other day, but ended in mystery. The evening unfolded like a normal night, but by the end, Sara Ebersole would vanish, leaving behind more questions than answers. Sara's last known sighting was at a Circle K gas station in Marion County. Surveillance footage shows Sara inside the store at 10 p.m., smiling, seemingly in good spirits. At 10:11 p.m., Sara sent her final text to her sister. "I'm getting into a random truck with some cowboys. Hope they take me on a ride." Sara left in a black Chevy Silverado, driven by Leonard Anderson and his friend, James Michael Robinson, also known as Bubba. They took her to a duplex at 18080 North Highway 441 in Reddick, Florida. At 11:08 p.m., photos from that night show Sara smiling and playing near a tree. Nothing out of the ordinary, yet. An hour later, more photos, shared by Shala, show Sara inside the house, appearing relaxed. But then, something changed. Sometime after midnight, Robinson sent a text to Tyrone Mormon, a man who had previously shown interest in Sara. Around 4 a.m., Mormon arrived and left with Sara. What happened next? No one knows for sure. Tyrone Mormon initially denied being in town when Sara disappeared, but investigators found evidence to the contrary. In December 2023, Mormon was arrested for lying to law enforcement, but was released the next day. No further charges have been filed. Sara's family, especially her sister Michelle, is skeptical of Mormon's story. The search for Sara continues, but the questions remain. What happened after she left that house? Was she taken willingly, or did something darker happen? Do you think Mormon's story holds up? Leave your thoughts in the comments and let's discuss. The clock is ticking, and the mystery deepens. As the investigation continues, the last known moments of Sara Ebersole only raise more questions. If you have any information, contact authorities. The search for answers is far from over. Think you know what happened to Sara? Drop your theories below and let's unravel this mystery together. When Sara didn't return home, concern quickly escalated. Her roommate reported her missing on March the 5th, 2023, prompting the Marion County Sheriff's Office to launch an investigation. Authorities conducted searches, interviewed acquaintances, and analyzed surveillance footage, but concrete leads remained elusive. Investigators questioned everyone present at the duplex that night. James Schaller provided images from his iCloud account without hesitation. The videos and photos appeared personal, indicating Sara's familiarity with all three individuals. However, beyond these images, no one could confirm Sara's whereabouts after midnight. Her house was a puzzle, each piece telling a different story. The shoes Sara wore the night she disappeared were inside, but her cigarettes and lighter were left outside on the porch. No struggle, but something felt wrong. What's more haunting than Sara's missing personal items is the teddy bear, a keepsake from her daughter's birth. More unsettling was what remained untouched. Sara had over $1,000 in cash the night she vanished, yet she left behind essential personal items, her toothbrush, hairbrush, and makeup brushes. However, a binder was missing, containing legal documents and records of Joseph Merlin Mayton's criminal history dating back to 2000. In cases like this, where a woman goes missing, statistics show that 82% of the time, it's someone close, often a current or former partner. Sara's ex, Joseph, has a history of abuse and control. His past interactions with her involved emotional and physical manipulation. As investigators dig deeper, his violent past raises chilling questions. Could his history be linked to Sara's disappearance? As days went by with no sign of Sara, her sister Michelle uncovered crucial information from Sara's iCloud account. Could this timeline hold the key to solving the mystery? Amid the uncertainty, one person refused to let Sara's story fade, her sister, Michelle Crystal Tullis. Sara is not just a missing person. She's my sister. I won't stop searching until we find her. I just know that I'm going to track down whoever hurt her. Michelle spearheaded awareness campaigns, organized vigils, and collaborated with organizations like Missing People in America to keep Sara's case in the public eye. Despite the lack of immediate leads, she refused to let the case go cold, reaching out to local media, true crime forums, and law enforcement to push for continued efforts in finding Sara. Sara was a free spirit, someone who truly believed everything was sunshine and rainbows. She always saw the best in people, even when they didn't deserve it. But someone took her away from us, and I won't stop until we get answers. Michelle Tullis isn't just fighting to find her missing sister, Sara. She's also battling for custody of her 6-year-old niece, Cora Dahlia Mayton. Cora is currently in the care of Joseph Merlin Mayton, the very man Michelle suspects may be involved in Sara's disappearance. Despite her efforts, Michelle's custody case was dismissed and she was ordered to pay attorney fees. But her fight continues. Michelle continues to raise concerns about Joseph's unstable living conditions, including multiple evictions. Determined to protect Cora, Michelle remains vocal about her mission. Cora deserves a life, free from fear. I won't stop until she's safe. As days turned into weeks, Michelle's determination never wavered. Through social media campaigns, organized search parties, and countless sleepless nights, she remains Sara's loudest voice, demanding the truth, demanding justice, and refusing to give up hope. But the search doesn't end here. Michelle needs your help to continue the fight. Will you join her in uncovering the truth? The Reddit community rallied together, distributing flyers and sharing Sara's story on social media platforms, amplifying the search efforts. In times like these, we must stand united. Sara is one of our own, and we won't rest until she's found. Despite exhaustive efforts, the investigation faced numerous challenges. Leads turned cold and misinformation spread, complicating the search for truth. Speculations ranged from foul play to voluntary disappearance, but without concrete evidence, these remained theories. As time passed, hope intertwined with heartache. The community continued to honor Sara's memory, holding on to the possibility of her return. Authorities urge anyone with information to come forward. Even the smallest detail could be the key to unraveling this mystery. If you're out there, Sara, we're waiting for you. And to anyone who knows something, please speak up. Our family needs closure. Join us in keeping Sara's story alive. Share this video, spread the word, and let's bring her home.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you all watching the video. It's very emotional for me. I've been with Michelle on her case now for quite a long time, and I want to shout out to the person that I met through the Free Karen Read movement. I haven't announced your name ever. I think I've asked you, but I don't know that you gave me permission, so I'm not going to do that tonight yet either. But I really owe it to you that you met Michelle because you started following Sara's case because you were following Karen Read's, and you introduced Michelle and I to each other. And I'm really grateful that I've been given the honor to advocate for Sara and try to do my best to help Michelle in whatever way I can. As you can see, she has been a private detective, a detective, an advocate, everything. She's worn so many hats like I do on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays to try to find and save her sister, Sara, and now trying to save her niece, Cora Dahlia. So we have to be a community as they are in Reddick and Marion County and Ocala, but we have to be an online community. We can share Sara's story out far and wide. I've written to Nancy Grace, Surviving the Survivor down in Miami, Gavin Fish. I can't remember her other name. There's quite a few others, much bigger. I mean, we're only a 900 subscriber channel, but I've written to much bigger channels to get attention because I do truly believe Sara's case is unique and twisted, and it deserves as much attention as anybody else's because our hashtag My Life Mattered. If Sara could tell you anything right now, she would say to you, my life mattered. If Jason could say anything to you, he would say, my life mattered. Ellen Greenberg, my life mattered. Suzanne Morphew, my life mattered. Suzanne Clark Simpson, my life mattered. Sandra Birchmore, my life mattered. And Ashley Lachey Elkins, my life mattered. We have been standing and advocating for all of these victims of homicides whose husbands, boyfriends, fiancés, we know in our hearts unalive them. Why the police can't figure it out, I don't know. I don't understand. Ellen Greenberg's case has taken a good turn back in January, but now we're just waiting. They still haven't changed her manner of death from a unaliving of herself, 20 stab wounds, to a homicide / M-word unaliving by her fiance, which is what we believe happened. Suzanne Morphew, no arrests yet, no updates right now. They had arrested her husband back before they found her body, but unfortunately they didn't have enough evidence. They did not feel they had enough to prosecute him. If they had prosecuted him, they did not feel a jury could have found him beyond a shadow of a doubt guilty. So they released him. And he has not been rearrested. Suzanne Clark Simpson husband is arrested. They did find evidence. Ashley Elkins prior boyfriend is arrested. They did find evidence, but both of those women's bodies are missing. So people need to go online, follow those cases. We will have a little bit more in depth on Suzanne Clark Simpson and Suzanne Morphew. We'll do one live show. We'll split it between the two of them. We've done several live shows on Ellen Greenberg. If you go to our library and go to the live tab, you can see all the information that we have on Ellen Greenberg that we have garnered from other fair use, from the police, from Ellen's family, from other YouTubes. We've concentrated on her quite a bit because that case I have literally followed since 2011, way before I ever became a live streaming advocate. So we will give you as many updates on Ellen as we can get, and we will give you a more in-depth review and background of Suzanne Morphew in Colorado and Suzanne Clark Simpson and Ashley Lachey Elkins from Detroit, Michigan. So we'll have an episode where we'll cover the three of them because they all were unalived by their significant other, and only two of them are arrested, but those cases haven't gone to trial yet, but their bodies are missing. Suzanne Morphew was found completely by accident because they were looking for another missing woman in the Colorado area, but her husband has not been rearrested. So we'll give a more in-depth background on all three of those. And then the Sandra Birchmore case, I'm hoping that Mizzy, who has been the advocate for Sandra Birchmore for 3 years now, will come on and give us a little bit of an update. There's really not much to speak of right now. Only one person has been arrested, Matthew Farwell, the person who we believed unalived Sandra Birchmore and framed her for her own unaliving, similar to what happened to Ellen Greenberg. He's still in jail. No real court. There's been no real appearances. He still hasn't appeared. Only his lawyer has appeared for him. No one else has been arrested, but we know there were others that helped cover that crime up. There's a lot of crime and corruption there in Stoughton, Massachusetts, right next door to Canton, Massachusetts, where John O'Keefe was killed and Karen was wrongfully accused, we believe. So we will continue to, hopefully we'll have Mizzy come on and give us more updates as to what her advocacy has been like and how the community has rallied behind her and Sandra Birchmore. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Calling Out Corruption. I appreciate all of you. We are non-monetized, as you know, on YouTube, but we do have a Cash App now. So I'll put that up here at the end if you're interested in helping us, even if it's $1, $2 for our program costs, and then anything above program costs, which is only going to be about 25%. The rest, 75%, would go to the families if they need it, or to make videos, or to make more advocacy call outs. And we'll have a complete accounting of all that. We are not trying to make a living. We are not trying to monetize. We are just looking to cover our costs and to cover the family's costs for their advocacy when we can. So that is all I have for tonight. Thank you for caring about others. Thank you for caring about justice and for calling out corruption. Tomorrow night, we'll be back with Friday Night Lies, where we'll be looking at Colin Albert's testimony and the testimony of Heather and Ricky, the two young adults in the truck, who, in my opinion, is pivotal, because if John O'Keefe was in the front yard at 12:36, they would have absolutely seen him. So in my mind, that is the key. They are the key witnesses. But they have brought out, I noticed on social media today, that the band member who would have witnessed this argument, that Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, Chris Albert, and John O'Keefe across the bar were having this little verbal kind of dance that they were playing, talking to each other, pointing to each other. He would have heard that, and he would have had to have heard it because he was right there packing up his equipment after playing his instrument, and he went around them because he couldn't go through them because they were all shouting and yelling over at John. So I guess he has now come into the picture. So I'll talk about that tomorrow night, as well as all the other updates that have to do with freeing Karen Read tomorrow night on Friday Night Lies. Thank you, everyone. It's just us, and I'll see you again soon. Take care of yourselves.
They try to silence the truth we shout, but we're still here, we're still calling out. Corruption hides behind a badge of name. We light the fire, expose the shame. We're justice seekers, we'll fight the fight for every voice lost in the night. My life mattered is the cry we sing for the ones they tried to bury within. It's just us, we're a movement wide. Together we rise, won't run nor hide. stories echo, the pain runs deep. For stolen lives we can't just weep. Elected power, but their hearts are cold. We'll bring the truth, let it be told. We're justice seekers, we'll fight the fight. For every voice lost in the night. My life mattered is the cry we sing. For the ones they try to bury within. It's just us, we're movement wide. Together we rise, won't run nor hide. We're justice seekers, we'll fight the fight. The heroes undo the harm. Calling out corruption, we'll stand tall. For justice and truth, we'll risk it all. My life mattered is the cry we sing. Together we rise, let freedom ring.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.